Vice President Kamala Harris just wrapping up her first campaign speech in Houston. She is a 2024 presidential candidate.
She spoke to the American Federation of Teachers at the GRB, and this afternoon we do have live team coverage for you, breaking down all of the reaction to her speech. But first, let's send it over to Devon Rahming, who was inside the convention hall as the vice president gave her speech. Devon.
Well, Stephanie and Sherman, good afternoon. You know, from the minute the vice president took the stage, this convention quickly became a campaign rally for the vice president's run for the presidency. Now, VP Harris, who serves as the chair of the White House Task Force on Worker Organizing and Empowerment, started her keynote speech this morning by thanking Joe Biden for his service to our country and for portraying what true leadership looks like, something she equated to the members of the American Federation of Teachers as educators being great servicemen and women to the nation.
I know that by nature, you are visionaries. You are focused on the future. The work you do is about a focus on the future. You see the potential in every child. You foster it, you encourage it, and in so doing, you shape the future of our nation. Today, we face a choice between two very different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. And we are fighting for the future.
The vice president also rallied up the crowd by thanking AFT for being the first union to endorse her run for the White House, a movement she says she pledges to fight for as commander-in-chief, where every worker has the freedom to join a union and protect the freedom to organize and to end union busting. She ended by stating unions are what help build America's middle class. Now, the Republican National Committee released a statement shortly after that keynote speech saying, and quote, in part, they called Harris dangerously liberal and criticized her for ignoring parents' rights and cozying up to unions. They promised that President Trump will do what's right for families. Of course, we're going to have much more on the vice president's visit here to Houston coming up in our later newscast. For now, live in downtown Houston, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Devon, thank you. You've been there live since 5 o'clock this morning. Good work.
Our team coverage continues with Treson Bragg. He's been speaking with conference attendees. Certainly a supportive crowd out there, Treson.
That's right. I mean, very supportive. We heard and saw a lot of excitement. We actually saw some teachers actually dancing right where I'm standing because we saw a countless number of teachers here in a line right here. Many of them telling us that they had to wait about an hour and a half to be able to get to their seats, but they say they did not mind. They were here. They were excited. And we spoke to people from all different types of backgrounds. And again, they all seem to say the same thing. Many of them telling us that they actually had to change their flight plans because they wanted to make sure that they were here to hear the VP speak. Also, I want to tell you some of the key terms that we kept hearing. One, they all felt that Kamala could galvanize the nation. Others say that they felt that this was a historic moment that we will be one day teaching about. So this was something that many of them were saying before the speech. Now, here's what many of those teachers had to say after the VP speech.
I heard about the moving the country forward instead of into the past. I heard about fighting for the majority of Americans, period.
I heard everything I wanted to, maybe a little bit more about like raises for teachers because we're pretty underpaid, but for the most part, I heard everything I wanted to hear.
And her, being Kamala, she's mixed. She brings from different cultures. So it's women, and we can be whoever.
Yeah, you heard the emotion there. We heard a lot of emotion. We were standing right outside the doors and we were hearing the screams, the chants, all the excitement. And again, many of the teachers that we spoke to say they are now headed to the airport or getting ready to head to the airport, and they want to share what they experienced here with their families, with their students, and with their friends back home. For now, I'll send it back to you all.
Busy day at the convention center. All right, Trace and Bragg, thank you. And the vice president has already left Houston. This is brand new video just 30 minutes ago showing her getting on Air Force Two and leaving Houston. She is headed back to D.C., where she's set to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. There was a small group of protesters against Israel's war in Gaza outside the convention center today.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
They were relegated to an area in Discovery Green where they chanted and held up signs. A few of those protesters tried to get into the convention center, but police did turn them away. This particular group was focused on the issues happening in the Middle East, and they called out the vice president for not doing enough, in their opinion. Meanwhile, Harris condemned a much more disruptive protest yesterday that happened in Washington, D.C. that coincided with the prime minister's visit.